we go. We're going to do a podcast. We're going to do a podcast episode from one of my fiction books. I'm just going to roll through it all. If we need to break it up into smaller steps, we can do so. But just want to give you the whole process first. So here we are in WordPress. This is a site I've already set it up for the Castos with the plugin I need. And then I get this section called Podcast. All episodes, as you'll notice, looks very much like posts, and they act just like posts. So here we go. I am going to add a new podcast or add a new post, sort of. And then I'm going to add, what I'm doing here is I am adding chapters weekly of one of my fiction books. So to make sure I got the right chapter and stuff, I'm going to go open my Vellum file. And you know what? In fact, I will show you. Let's go double check. Let's go make sure what was the last episode and what should be the next one. So for the Kite Hill, I have it KH here. Kite Hill, last chapter is chapter 10. Okay, so now I'll go back and do another new one. And here I see chapter 10. I'm going to go over to chapter 11 and highlight and copy that title and make sure I get my sort of formatting correct as far as what I'm putting, how I'm doing that. I have KH for Kite Hill, chapter 11, and then the title. Now, I could do some crazy job with this here, all kinds of fancy description or whatever. I'm just going to take the first paragraph, partly because I just want to get this done. Partly, this is all a test anyway, and I just kind of want to see what happens, what shows up where, that kind of thing. In fact, just to sort of test, I'm going to take another bit and I'm going to put that in the excerpt. And we can then later see, not necessarily in this video, but later see where this kind of stuff shows up. Okay, so now I just gave my podcast a title, and that's going to be the episode title. I get a permalink. I like them shorter, so I'm going to take out all that stuff and just do something like KH chapter 11. Great. I've got a bit of body here, text. Great. I gave it an excerpt. Now, really important is instead of categories, they call it podcast series. This is my Secret of Kite Hill series. Now here, the SEO, I don't know how much this shows up. I'm going to say Secret of Kite Hill. This is my name of the book. And then maybe I'll do the same. Maybe I'll do the title plus the chapter title as the SEO title. So the Secret of Kite Hill. Got to spell things right. Get rid of all that stuff at the end. This other, the description SEO. I'm just going to copy and paste something in there. I guess that's too long. That's short enough. This one's important. This is the featured image. So because I've already uploaded it, it's already in here, which is kind of nice because once you get going, that's all you need. So I'm just going to go back and look at my previous example. And here, this one's 1400 by 1400. That's what I want. I'm going to get my previously used cover image. That's going to be my featured image, which will then show up in the right places. Now for the crazy part. I go down here and I get to podcast episode details, podcast file, select podcast file. So I can then go over to my Finder. I think I can. Here's my chapter 11. I went and found it. This is my chapter 11, and this is the one that has been properly formatted and everything by Findaway Voices. So I know it's the good one, and it's also an MP3, smaller file size. I'm going to take that, come back over here. I think I can drag this in. You know what? I think I'm not going to do it because I'm afraid it's going to break something. So I'm going to I'm going to copy this exact file name. Oops, not paste. I'm going to copy this file name so that then I can go search it. I will, just to make sure this works, I thought I could drag to this little button. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a search. Of course, that's going to get me. Oh, it helps if you search for the right thing. Let me do that again. Back to the Finder. This is what I want. Copy that. back over here, select podcast file, do my search. There we go. Okay. Except that's not the right one. That's chapter 10. See how good this is? I do this together because then we actually learn. I want chapter 11. Copy. See how good it is to double check and make sure things are correct. Chapter 11. There we go. Choose that. It's, see here at the top, the blue, it's uploading. So it uploads to the Castos hosting server, which is awesome because that's where it loads from. Doesn't take up space on your WordPress host or anything. And that's where it streams from as well. So you don't need to worry about your host getting bogged down. There's all kinds of checkboxes and information you can put in here. I usually only do this one, but of course I have a really simple thing going on. I'm just doing the chapters of my fiction book. So if this is also a beautiful thing, I can come up here just like WordPress, publish immediately or later. I could come up here and do 10 chapters in a row for the next 10 weeks. I'm ready to do it. I'm going to come up here, publish, and we just published an episode which will be almost instantaneously onto iTunes and Stitcher and the rest of the game. There we go. In a few minutes, we just created a podcast episode, uploaded the audio file, and made it live.